I like to refer to this as love with a capital L, because as a result of using it, we end up behaving in ways that the wise teachers of the past have always referred to as love. Now, the energy that I found lying at the base of our illnesses, on the other hand, was different. I often referred to it as the dark force, since it sees and produces conflict, polarity, and destruction. So the process of bringing a healing and high-performance perspective to individuals and groups has to do with transcending this polarized, dualistic kind of thinking. And as you can imagine, that's the kind of thinking that the guards and the prisoners found themselves lost and trapped in. When we examine things from the perspective of peace and wholeness and love, we can overcome those behaviors originating in this evolutionarily much older part of our brain, the so-called paleomammalian cortex, a part of the brain that is pretty much the same kind of brain as we find in all mammals. And in fact, it's the part that's the source of the fight or flight stress reaction within our bodies. And most of us know what kind of damage stress can do. The world we live in now is a very different place from that world in which this part of our brain evolved hundreds of thousands of years ago. And its emergency reactions to things that aren't really immediate life or death emergencies not only makes us sick, but those reactions cause us to be in denial and fail to recognize that it is our way of thinking that's producing the anxiety, the anger, the frustration, the habit disorders, and causing us to fail and producing unhappiness. No wonder I call it the dark force, or violence with a capital V. So bringing healing to the situation means not only seeing challenges and conflicts, but also seeing the situation from that integrative, both-and perspective of love. So, as Dr. Zimbardo suggests, we be aware of the power of situations that we take for granted, and how important it is to do what we can to modify those situations, to change them, and to create positive situations in our lives.
And that's what I'm trying to do with the Heroic Imagination Project, is to say, how can we create positive situations where ordinary people can begin to think of themselves as everyday heroes, and that we put them in situations where we train them how to become effective upstanders, not bystanders, how to develop a growth mindset rather than be stuck in a fixed static mindset, how to appreciate diversity rather than to be prejudiced. So essentially what I'm saying is I'm trying to take that notion from the prison study and from the earlier research I did at Milgram and Bandura to say, let's change the situation and let's see something that nobody's ever thought of doing, is to make ordinary people become heroes. Be willing to make a sacrifice for others in need, to challenge immoral causes, to stand up, speak out, and take action against injustice. And so that is my whole mission in life since actually 2010. I started the Heroic Imagination Project is a San Francisco-based nonprofit that I started here in 2010. And we are now in a dozen countries around the world, in thousands and thousands of high school. We've been focusing mostly on high school level students, but now we're moving into corporations as well.
Why do you refer to them as heroes?
A hero is somebody who takes action to help others in need, despite any personal cost. It's a new definition of hero. It's a contrary to the traditional definition of hero. It's not a military hero. It's not a religious hero. It's not military, religious, political hero. These are ordinary people. I call them everyday heroes in training. So that you're training so that when an event occurs, where you have to stand up and speak out and challenge a bully in business or in school, that you are likely to do so. So it's creating a training program, which we have done, and it's on the website heroicimagination.org. We have ideas of what our training program is about.
Mm-hmm. What makes you think that we need all these heroes?
We need as many heroes as we can because the world is filled with evil. I mean, at this moment, as we're talking, there's terrorist attacks, there's wars everywhere, there's migrants, being left in the ocean rather than being saved. The world needs heroes. Heroes also represent ideals that we can aspire to. Seeing somebody do a heroic deed has a positive ripple effect. It means that seeing somebody else do something that is unselfish. So heroes are sociocentric, not egocentric. Heroes are always focused on what can I do to make your life better in various ways. And what we try to do is teach people to be, we teach them how to analyze social situations. So we don't want you to be a impulsive hero. We don't want you to take risks. So we teach you to analyze the situation. If there's any danger, then you don't intervene. You call the police, or you call first aid, or you call other people to help you.
I see. But then if there's not a physical danger, then you teach people how to intervene.
Yeah. Oh, you always do something. The bottom line is you always do something that you could call for help. First of all, you clarify the situation. You say, "Do you need help?" Now, in our training program, we have each of these lessons I have developed these. Each lesson is 3 hours long. We have videotapes. We have videos of different situations of people in need and people not helping and people helping. So it's not, we don't just say do it. We have a very detailed training program that schools and business license. And then I or one of my people I've trained, we actually do the training of teachers or people in human relations of how to deliver these lessons for effectiveness.
Mm-hmm. I see. And so if this is about combating that evil that's out there, if evil is at one end of the spectrum, what do you see as being at the other end of the spectrum?
I think an all-caring, compassionate hero. It's at the extreme. It's Lucifer versus Christ as the extreme. So Christ is Jesus Christ. Aside from the religious thing, he was a hero. He made before he was crucified, he constantly made sacrifices to try to make the world a better place for the people he was serving. But that's I'm saying it's a new conception of heroes. It's not the military conception. And most heroes in the military conception or first responders die. You're a hero because you took a bullet for a buddy, which is a phrase. And we say, no, we never want you to be a hero who dies in action. We want you to live a long life and do many heroic deeds.
But we want you to be compassionate. We want you to be a loving person, to not have to numb your loving, compassionate self in order to become like everyone else.
Right. Now, do you know the work of Jim Doty at Stanford, D-O-T-Y? He's a neurosurgeon, and he started, it's called CCARE. It's the Stanford Center for Compassion and Altruism Research and Education. Very complicated. And so he has this program, and the main thing it does now is they have classes at Stanford to teach people what compassion is and promote compassion.
Yeah. And
compassion is out, or trademark around the world, is the compassion contract. But compassion is a private virtue. When I say I feel your suffering, then what heroism does, heroism is the action component of compassion. compassion doesn't change anything. It makes you feel good. I'm a compassionate person. I feel your suffering. But unless I translate that into some physical action, nothing changes. If I see you bleeding on the floor and I say, I empathize, I feel your suffering, if I don't lift you up, if I don't stop the bleeding, then it's my compassion from your point of view is worthless. So that's what I'm trying to say is it's heroic action that makes a difference in the world. And it's translating compassion, which is the highest private virtue, into heroism, which is the highest civic virtue.
Highest civic virtue.
Yeah, I mean, heroism is a civic virtue. Heroism is always about one person doing something for some other person. And that person could be, in many cases, is a stranger. So that's a civic virtue.
Oh, wonderful. And what usually brings people to sign up for this training?
We have a website. We don't do it. Unfortunately, we don't have much money. I mean, I'm really bad. I'm good at a lot of things, bad at fundraising. So essentially, we put out notices. We now have begun to have online training where I physically don't have to go to your business or to your school. Although when I say we're in 12 countries around the world, I physically have gone to Australia, to Bali, to Tehran, to Budapest, to Warsaw, to Geelong, et cetera, et cetera. I have done the training in all those places. Now, once I've done that, then the people I train begin to train many other people. So I know I'm trying to think of the word, sequential thing. But now we're trying to do training online, where one of our trainees we set there's a date. We say on this day, for a relatively small fee, you can experience one or more of our lessons.
And so people can just go to heroicimagination.org to learn more?
Yes. Yeah. And it'll say training's coming up, and you just click on. It says, I don't remember how much it is, $25 or $50 for. The session is several hours in long.
And what's your sense of what attracts people to want to come? I mean, there's so much in the world out there that's training us to not feel, to carry on personal business through our little screens.
Yeah, I don't know what. No, but we have not done a follow up to say how come, who are the people who sign up. What are we haven't looked at their personalities and so forth. So that's a whole other. That's a research component. And again, we don't have enough money to have researchers working for us to do that.
I see. And where is the team that's putting these programs together? Are they here in the Bay Area?
Yeah, it's in the Bay Area. Yes.
And are you?
But I mean, but when it's online, it's people from around the world. I mean, we might have a session of 10 people, and it could be one from South America and one from Australia and one from who knows where, from Europe. And as long as they zoom in at the same time, the time would always be Pacific Standard Time.
And well, it's like they say, once you're on the internet, you're everywhere.
Right.
You're not local anymore.
Right.
It pulls it right
through. But again, it's for us. It's the most inexpensive, convenient way to do a training. Rather than physically, I have to go to Arizona or Portland or as I said, Budapest to do trainings.
I know that Dr. Doty, who you mentioned a little while ago, he talks about the quality of love and its importance. What thoughts do you have on love as a phenomenon?
None at all. I mean, have not dealt with that at all.
Uh-huh.